Today what we want to do is just touch base on K levels. I'm sure a lot of you have probably heard that term before. Maybe you understand it, maybe you're not quite sure what it means. So let's just take a moment and try and shed just a little bit of light on a K level and what that means. So essentially, what a K level is it's a Medicare classification or grade, if you will. Essentially, every amputee is assigned a K level, somewhere between K0 and K4. K0 being the lowest on the scale, with K4 being a very high rating for a very active user. Essentially, once you are assessed and assigned a K level rating, it then becomes a way for your prosthetist to select components that are conducive to the activity level of your K rating. Now, Medicare put these standards into place so that they could basically come up with a way of saying, these are the components you qualify for, these are the components we're willing to pay for and cover for you. So essentially, if this makes sense, if you're not able to get out of a wheelchair, you're not able to get up and walk on your own, your insurance company isn't likely to pay for a very high activity foot because essentially it's money wasted. You're not maximizing on the potential that foot can offer you. So when you are given a K level rating, essentially what that does is it puts you into a category that helps your physician and your prosthetist determine what prosthetic components are going to work best for you and your ability or potential to become active again. So let's take a little look here at what the individual K levels are and what they mean to you. The first K level group would be K0. A patient falling in the K0 range typically spends most of their time in a wheelchair. This patient does not have the ability or the potential to ambulate or make safe transfers with or without assistance, meaning they can't get up and walk on their own, nor can they get from a wheelchair to the bathroom or maybe in and out of the shower without any sort of assistance. Therefore, a prosthetic device will not help add any quality of life or enhance this patient's mobility. A patient who falls into the K1 classification has a little bit more physical ability than a K0. At this K level, we see a patient who now has the ability or potential to use a prosthetic device. It will help aid them in making transfers or to ambulate and walk or on level surfaces at a fixed cadence. What this means is the patient is sort of a household ambulator. They may have the ability to get up and move around the house at a slow pace and do the things they need to do in the home. A patient with a K2 level classification is a little bit more physically active than K0 or K1. Obviously, as we climb the scale, you become more physically active. So a K2 patient has the ability or the potential for ambulation and the ability to traverse low-level environmental barriers, such as curbs, stairs, uneven surfaces. This is typically a community ambulator. This person is able to go outside the house for simple daily tasks and has no problem navigating the small barriers they may encounter in doing so. A K3 patient has the ability or the potential for ambulation at variable cadence. They also are able to traverse any environmental barrier you'll find out in public. A patient at the K3 level may also have vocational or therapeutic, maybe even exercise activity, and just demands of a prosthesis that go way far beyond typical ambulation and locomotion. The last and highest rating is K4. A patient that has a K4 rating is basically in the top tier. They have the ability or the potential to use a prosthesis to basically go above and beyond typical, normal, everyday ambulation. This person exhibits high impact stresses on the prosthetic device, outputs massive energy levels. Typically, this is an athlete, a very active adult, or as we all know, children who are very rough on prosthetics typically fall into the K4 range. This would be the very top tier, the very most active amputee. Now that we've given you a little explanation of what K levels are and what they mean to you, just a couple more things to remember. Once you are classified and put into a K rating, You're not stuck there. As you become more active and adapt to your prosthesis, you will essentially outgrow components on a physical and functional level. A foot that once worked for your lifestyle may no longer work. So as you progress as an amputee, you may be reevaluated and qualify for a higher K-level rating, thus opening up access to more advanced components to help you live a more active and productive life. Another little thing I want to throw in at the end, K ratings, there's really no set way to determine exactly how to come up with this grade or classification. So a lot of times your K rating is based on a lot of self-report as well as physician assessment. A lot of times you may also be put through what's called a functional capacity exam to sort of test your capabilities and assess your potential. But there's a lot of different ways that this K level is sort of addressed and brought up and applied to an individual. So maybe you're getting your first leg, your prosthetist says, you know, we can only put you in a K2 foot. Don't be bummed, you have to start somewhere. Do your best, get out and live your life on that K2 foot. Maybe you'll break it, maybe by the time you need a new prosthesis, you'll be re-evaluated and it's gonna be no problem for you to get into a higher level K3 or K4 level foot or other components. So that said, we hope that this video has helped you out a little bit and sheds a little bit of light into what the K system is, the K level ratings. So thank you for tuning in. Rush Life.